Baba also sometimes spoke to a few people about his guru. This is something very few people have heard of. And according to Das Ganu Maharaj, he spoke of someone called Venkusha as his guru, who was none other than Sri Gopal Rao Deshmukh of Shailu near Patri. Gopal Rao obtained the Jahagir of Jintur Pargana in the Nizam state. He has been described as a man of humble disposition, kind and merciful. He also had the power to cure diseases and possessed the 8 Mahasiddhis. People flocked to him to have his darshan. In course of time, Shailu near Patri, where Gopal Rao lived, became a place of pilgrimage like Pandharpur or Dwarka. There are legends about Gopal Rao. Once it is said he went to Ahmedabad to visit the Dargah of Suhag Shah. As he approached it, the tomb perspired with joy and burst into speech. Gopal Rao heard it say, "Salam alaikum, O you great sage Ramanand. In your present birth, truly you have not forgotten me, even though you have changed your form and appear before me as Deshmukh in the Nizam's dominion. From the town of Manvat, 10 miles from Shailu, your former disciple Kabir will come to you as a child of a fakir." The caretaker of the mausoleum also heard the words and was dumbstruck. As prophesied, the story goes, the wife of the fakir of Manvat came to Shailu to see Gopal Rao. She was an oldish woman in her 50s and was clad in rags. She wore green bangles on her wrists and carried on her back a boy of 5 who, Gopal Rao guessed, was Kabir in his previous birth. The poor woman was stopped at the gate by the guards who would not allow her to enter the courtyard. So gently putting the boy down, she sent a prayer to Gopal Rao with folded hands. "O virtuous one, you are the protector of the weak and my sole refuge. It's more than a month since my husband departed, telling me before his death to go to you for shelter." Gopal Rao came out. He welcomed the woman and her child, saying that long he had been waiting for them. The boy immediately recognized his master and sought refuge in him. Both the woman and her child were sheltered by Gopal Rao. The days passed, the master grew more and more fond of the boy. The boy was 12, his mother died. One day at dusk, both the master and his disciple disappeared into the dense forest nearby and did not return home for 4 months, to the anxiety and fear of the household. Gopal Rao was no ordinary citizen. He was a Deshmukh, and his long absence was a matter of concern even to the government. Some thought that the boy's dead mother may have cast a spell over Gopal Rao. How else could one account for the fascination of a saintly Brahmin for a Muslim boy? Some entered the forest and after some search found him in a clearance fast asleep. The boy was sitting by his side. One of the group hurled a brick at the boy, but it missed him and hit the master on his head. Actually, according to the legend, the brick just stayed suspended in mid-air. But its force had to terminate somewhere, so Gopal Rao offered his head and to save the boy and was grievously injured. Gopal Rao quickly bandaged his bleeding wound, but the person who had hurled the brick fell down dead. The brick itself was gifted to the boy, who later in life came to be known as Sai Baba of Shirdi, with the instruction that when in turn the brick broke, it would be a sign that Sai Baba's own time was up. Meanwhile, the boy burst into tears, seeing the wound bleeding, and craved forgiveness of his master. But Gopal Rao told him, "Do not regret. My time has come. I have only a few days left before I pass on. Today I wish to transfer all my powers to you. Go to the cow herd out there and get me the milk of a black cow. There is not a moment to lose." The boy hurried to the cow herd and asked for milk from a black cow, But the only cow in the herd which was black was barren and could yield no milk. When this was reported back to Gopal Rao, he personally went and touched the cow's udders, whereupon milk freely flowed. The master gathered 3 seers of creamy milk and handed it over to the boy. He then removed the piece of cloth covering his head and tied it over the boy's head, saying, "I have given you my entire wealth. The 3 seers of milk given to you are karma, bhakti and jnana. I have sanctified the milk. Hence drink up all of it and you will get jnana." The boy bowed to his master and did as he was told. At that instant, Baba said once, he was filled with God. The master now said, "Remember that you were Kabir and I was Ramananda. Make your abode in one place and raise those who surrender to you. My mission is over. I will proceed to Shailu and enter Mahasamadhi." The boy thereupon bowed to his master, took the dust of his feet and applied it to the boy who had thrown the brick and who had fallen dead. The story is, immediately he came back to life. Stunned by this, the men carried Gopal Rao and his disciple to Shailu in a procession. Next day the master assembled all his disciples and addressed him thus, saying, "Today I will abandon my earthly life. At that place a peepal tree will rise." Peepal tree. If you dig a little near the tree, you will find a purple 4-armed idol of Venkatesha of Tirupati. Raise a temple on that spot. He then read aloud the 18 chapters of the Gita and asked all assembled to utter the name of Narayana. Then he gave the loin cloth he had to the boy for making a kafni and signaled to him to leave at once. Thrice he repeated the name of God and left his physical frame. Then the story goes of how in the forest the boy chanced to meet the Muslim Chand Bhai by name, who had come in search of his lost mare and helped him find it.